Hi, welcome back to the Jac and Glen channel. I'm Jackie.
I'm her husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
And before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews.
And of course, if you like listening to audiobooks, click the link in the description for a free 30-day trial with Audible. And while you're online shopping, you can use the Rakuten link and get a $10 credit.
Also, if you like our Married at First Sight review, you'll enjoy us with other YouTubers on Sunday at 7 p.m. on the Little Black Book 91's YouTube channel.
Talking about Married at First Sight.
Talking about Married at First Sight.
It was a lot of fun last week. So you don't want to miss it. But anyway, to tonight's Married at First Sight. Hot stinking mess.
A lot of drama, a lot of mess, but let's not go to the drama or the mess. Let's get out of the way that everybody goes to their own apartment. And there's some drama, but we get to see Pastor Cal visit all the couples this week.
Yes, he did. We got to see Pastor Cal. So, let's see. First, we talked before, they're coming home from the honeymoon. Haley and Jacob have been, not talking. They packed separately, quietly. And she got on a plane. She asked for a separate seat. She didn't want to sit by him.
How you be at fault and then you want to be the one mad?
Well, she didn't say she's at fault. His thing is, her thing is she wanted to hang out with the girls, and he says you lied to me. You got a boyfriend back home. Like, you're doing stuff that makes it look like you got somebody else because you're not interested in me. And so that's why she's mad, because you accuse me of messing with somebody else. You accuse me of being a liar. But
that's absurd, though. The comment, you got a boyfriend back home. Why would I go through all this process?
Right.
To have somebody back at home.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
That makes no sense.
And how could she have somebody back at home? Says she didn't trying to get used to being around somebody 24/7. Yeah,
he just defense mechanism.
Well, and he says later, it's a past thing. He's had this happen in the past, where he thought he was the main boyfriend, but really he was the side piece.
Yeah.
So he's feeling like a side piece. But anyway, then we see them move into their apartment.
Yeah.
And with the ugly green sheet on the bed, comforter. That was puke green. It was nasty. I don't know who picked that out, but I would take that off of the bed expeditiously.
We're going to Walmart and get a new comforter.
No, I promise you I already got one that size.
Yeah.
So when I go to my house, I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to fix it. So Brianna and Vincent, they, go into their place. She's talking about him picking up stuff on the floor. We'll get into that some more too. Virginia's there moving in with Eric. She's concerned about, again, sharing her space with somebody else.
Yeah.
Eric has shared a space. She hasn't. So he's going to try to get her acclimated to what it's really like.
But what he told her too, and as we figured out, based off my schedule and where I work at, you have time to spend by yourself. You'll have time to let your hair unwind. You'll have some time to be without me. So she will have that time.
And then what, she jokingly was like, well, hopefully the time that you're gone is the time that I want to be. I want to be by myself.
Yo, she immature.
You're going to be by yourself. Oh, yeah, she's immature. We'll find that out later, like when Pastor Cal comes to visit. And I got to hit this real quick.
Go ahead, let's hit it.
So we see Paige moves into her apartment, their apartment, the mutual space, by herself. Chris bought a separate ticket and he flew to Chicago. He didn't even come back to Atlanta right away.
Nah, he pulled a Brandon. Remember Brandon did this? Zach did this. Hey, Chris is a different type of cat. This is right here. You're on a plane with me. Now, mind you, we see them on the plane. So when he lands into Atlanta, he hops on another plane and goes to Chicago. So he's on the plane with her from Vegas. They go from Vegas to Atlanta. He hops on another plane and goes to Chicago. Because eventually we see her with his bags.
Yeah.
So she has his bags in her car.
And so he just took a carry-on.
He just took a carry-on.
He packed his carry-on to take.
And like, I'm deuces. I'm going to Chicago.
A mess.
Out.
A mess.
And she spends the night in her day apartment the first night by herself.
A mess.
And he went to see the ex in Chicago.
A mess. Yeah. What comes next, that's what happened. Again, I'll go back real quick to Haley and Jacob. They move into the apartment. We see them getting settled, and they sleep in different rooms, in different beds, because they're still kind of on shaky ground.
They're shaky ground, but they have a conversation. They have a little conversation about what's going on, and he goes into, you're a liar, you didn't treat me right, you didn't want to hang out with me, I think you're doing all this, and he goes off a little bit. He goes off to the point where he eventually has to apologize to her. You know, he just called her name. He was really rude.
Yeah, he was rude.
He was really rude, and so she didn't know how to take it. Now, again, he told her she's not accountable or responsible because she's not holding up to her end of the bargain. She's not admitting when she was wrong. So he went in on her, and she felt some type of way. I
mean, I don't blame her. I would feel some type of way too. You know, the accusations and stuff. You know, she really wasn't feeling that, and it just wasn't nice. It just wasn't nice.
Yeah, and so they slept in separate rooms. This is not the first time we see couples sleep in a separate room on night one.
I don't think Brandon ain't never come in the bedroom with Taylor, did he?
Nah, he was always banished to the other room.
Don't say banished.
She banished him to the other room.
Well, so. I mean, I think that's the best thing for them anyway. But anyway, so let's because it was fairly quick with them. Let's talk about Virginia and Eric.
Yeah, let's deal with that.
So, in this episode, we see them move into their apartments together, but we also see them go to each other's houses or places, and you know they have to pick up some things before they move in.
Yeah.
And so we see Eric go to Virginia's house, and he was like, you know, Virginia's house looks like her. It really fits her. And
small, petite, pictures everywhere.
Yeah. Kind of busy.
Yeah, real busy.
Busy, and she's got cats and dogs. He says, I'm allergic to cats, but not deathly allergic. And he's not doing any sneezing and stuff like that, so she accuses him of being a liar. You're not allergic to dogs. He said, I took some allergy medicine before I came over, because I want to be, you know, I want to be good. But he's like, I don't know if this cat in the house thing is gonna work. But anyway, that's the animal thing. At least I don't think they would have a battle like one of the other couples. But anyway, so then we see, you about to say something?
No, I'm about to say, then we go to Eric's spot. His spot, he got a condo. And when I say he got a condo, Eric got, like, she called it a bachelor pad, but I just call it a mature person's house. Because he has a condo with the big TV, the fireplace. You can see with the sound studio inside. You can see that he takes a lot of work or some time to get his condo right. That he's investing, put money. It looks like him. It's conservative. It's straight. Right. Everything's dressed. He has the little toys that he wants. He got airplanes all over the place. So he's enjoying his house. Yes. Or his condo.
Yes. I like the way you said it. His space is more mature, and it looks like him. Yeah. It looks like somebody that's established and, you know, particular, and it's modern. Her, like he said, and I agree, her house is very homey. Yeah. And his was. And for real, his looks like a house that somebody doesn't stay there all the time. True. I'm going to be honest. That's what it looked like to me. But yeah, he has a soundproof room. He says he doesn't sing, but he has friends that sing. And he plays the guitar. And so that's his, like, you know, calming space, you know. But she says she doesn't picture herself living there.
Yeah, she don't picture herself living there.
I think she should, though. She should grow up.
I think she should live there.
Stay there. It was nice.
Or, again, not necessarily live there, because, again, when you get married, you want a space together. This is the part where they have, that's why they're moving into an apartment together. So they have to make this decision. Should we move into his condo, move in an apartment, or should we go ahead and get a house together? And I think that's a goal. Now, after the 8 weeks, I wouldn't be trying to buy a house, but we'll make a decision on where we want to go afterwards. So I can see why she said she don't want to live there. Again, and he may not want to live in her place because it's homey. They got to make a decision on where to go. Yeah.
We see Haley and Jacob go to each other's spots. Jacob lets Haley know, I got a neon room.
Dog. This dude lived in the 80s, and then
all kinds of 80s stuff.
All kind of 80s stuff. He got a neon room. He has he wants to take his neon lights. He's in love with neon.
He had a bunch of. I'm gonna say they were DVDs. I hope they weren't VHS tapes. There's a whole lot of movies.
Yeah, they probably was VHS tapes because he got cassettes. He said I got a cassette player.
Yeah, he said, "Can I bring my cassette player?"
So, but again, and she's like, "Well, I wasn't born back then. Or I don't know what that is." The members only jacket.
Yo, that knocked me out. I'm like, yeah, he had an authentic members only jacket, and he was like, "You know what that is?" She was like, "No." Listen, my daughter was born in the early 2000s. She knows what a members only jacket is. Come on, Haley, you are not that. Stop.
But at least it was on talking terms because they wasn't doing great, but they was on talking terms. So they kind of made up a little bit. Even when he went to her place, this is where he was nosy. He snooped in her closet. He went in her suitcase. He thought she had some 80s shorts. He was looking at everything in her place. Now, almost to the point where I was like, "Ooh, he kind of invading her privacy."
Yeah,
dog.
yeah. Like, it's how to get out of her stuff.
Yeah, like you're doing a little too much. I mean, I don't know what y'all thought. I thought it was like, "Yo, you're doing too much." You know, y'all not on these even terms right now, good terms, but you're in everything. You in the closet, you looking here, you're in her suitcase, you all over the place. And she could tell she felt a little awkward, like, what are you doing? But she didn't want to rock the boat any more than it already was.
Right. And the funny part was, okay, so he goes in her closet and he pulls out a flowery blouse. He was like, "Oh, you got a Karen blouse."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Well, that's actually my mom's." He was like, sure. Like, you got this Karen blouse.
He's calling her a Karen. Now, y'all don't know what a Karen is?
Look it up.
Look it up, yeah.
We're not going to talk about
We're not going to talk about Karens. We're not talking about Karens, and we're not talking about Karen from Married at First Sight neither, but he called her a Karen.
Yeah, and so here's the animal thing too. He's got 3 dogs. She's got the one, and so they're trying to figure out how they're gonna be able to meld all these animals together. When they get to the apartment, like he brings his dogs in one at a time to greet her dog, and the second one is like not having it.
Cause him to fall on the floor.
Yeah, man, trying to keep them apart.
I don't know. It's to me. They got a good apartment complex for them to keep 4 dogs in the apartment.
That's the part.
And these ain't small dogs. These are some big dogs. And I'm a dog person. I like animals. But guess what? I'm not keeping 4 of them in the house.
But I guess, like I said, it was like, what you going to do with them? Because you can't.
Family member. Co-worker. Somebody.
Yeah, you can't, because you can't leave them at the place by themselves.
Who watched them while they was on their honeymoon? Leave them there.
Oh, they probably went to the kennel when they were on the honeymoon.
Guess what? For the next 8 weeks, guess where you going to be at?
Nah, ain't nobody gonna do that.
Dog.
You know those are his buddies. He gonna bring his dogs with him, but it's gonna be rough. But
4 in a house, even past the cow, like y'all got 4 dogs.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And I mean, not a house. This is an apartment complex. 4 dogs. How do you keep 4 dogs quiet?
You can't keep
in
them quiet.
Apartment complex.
That's the thing. I know. You know, in apartments, like I never had a pet in an apartment, but I know if you had one, you had to pay extra. And that was for 1. So I'm like, for 4,
dog,
you probably gotta pay some extra rent, a whole nother rent.
Married at First Sight paying for it.
But I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot. But anyway, we can keep it going with Haley and Jacob. And so we see them meet with Pastor Cal, and you know, she acknowledges that they're not really in a great place. She's not in a great place. Mm-hmm. They're still trying to figure out the dog situation. She says they're doing better, but there's nothing really going on physically. She says, "I'm not a touchy-feely person." He is a touchy-feely person. His thing is, he doesn't know, he wants to be touchy-feely, but she's pulled back. And he'd be like, "Give me something." He said, "If we could start small, can we do a hug a day?" And even that little bit, she acted like she was overwhelmed by that. I'm just like, I don't know.
She has not been in a relationship in this long. So she gave it up to him. It might have been trash, as some of you guys say. I don't know. That's not my business. You know, you all said it was trash. That's why she's feeling this way. But again, she said she's not that type of person. Her love language
is not physical touch.
It's not physical touch. That was the last thing. So she likes to be able to feel comfortable with him, and she doesn't feel comfortable because she still feels some type of way that he called her a liar, that he was, even though she did lie, but that that he put her out there, the way he talked to her, she has some reservations of being really connected to him. It really, as she, in her own words, she said, it pushed me away further.
Yes, and Pastor Cal talks to them about that, about being being better at communicating how you feel. She's like, she just doesn't want to be mean. She doesn't want to, push.
Be confrontational.
She has a hard time with that. But Pastor Cal encourages her to tell him how she feels.
Yeah.
And even in that space, to let him know how she feels. And is it anything that makes you kind of feel uncomfortable and makes you unsure? He said he wasn't sure if she liked him because he wasn't getting those vibes, those not touchy-feely, but at least some kind of emotional, some kind of want to touch. So that's why he felt like she didn't like him, and it must be somebody else that's taking her time because she's not feeling me. And
it's the 80s stuff, dog. She don't like the 80s gimmick.
And that's what she said. She was like, that's the one thing that's like a red flag to me. It's the 80s stuff. No, please don't.
The 80s is the age gap. It's 10 years, I believe. It's 10 years. So that's a big.
Almost.
That's a decade. Mm-hmm. So there's a gap there. There's some things that he does. He still is. And Pastor Cal told him there's some things that need to change. Mm-hmm. You're gonna have to be able to adjust, and she's gonna have to help you adjust, and y'all gonna have to find a happy medium. Now, brother, just come to the 1990s, 2000s.
Yeah, he was like, what's the obsession about the 80s? It's just a good time, good vibes,
Relax.
And Pastor Cal was like, come on into the 21st century.
Yeah, bring it on in. And so this is a big red flag for her because, again, you're living in the past. He's living in the past. He wants her to conform to him, but he's not willing to meet her anywhere. So therefore, she's like, I'm taking. You want me to take, but you really not giving anything. Mm-hmm. You want me to take all your in. You want me to take your beach at the house. You want me to take your dogs. You want me to take your 80s love, your neon lights, your short shorts, your white ostrich boots, and now you want me with all this together. And what are you giving me?
Right.
You want me to give you emotion. You want me to give you affection. You want me to give this, but you're not meeting any of my needs. And now she's communicated that he needs to start meeting her needs so she can make her feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And she needs to stop lying.
Yeah, but I guess for him it's like, how can I meet your needs when you got to give me something too? You see what I'm saying? He wasn't really doing that with her because she wasn't communicating it. I think he's willing to change because, talking to Pastor Cal said it's okay for her to bring change to your life. Yeah. Let her bring some change. Not trying to change you completely, but y'all have to start influencing each other.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And again, he didn't know it was that big of a deal to her because she was, awkwardly, painfully grinning about it, but she wasn't saying anything.
Her friends said it though. She doesn't like to hurt feelings.
Well, guess what?
She's going to have to learn how to have conversation. And he said you're going to have to learn how to compromise. And just because you argue, don't mean you're mad at each other.
Right. Because
you argue don't mean that you're upset. It means that you have a different opinion about a certain situation or a certain thing. And I think that's what she's going to feel more comfortable at when she understands we can disagree. But doesn't mean I'm mad.
Yeah, and Jacob gave her the ability. He's like, come at me, give it to me. He said I can handle it. He should be. It's a big grown man, bodybuilder man. Come on, he can do it. He can handle it. Okay.
It should be able to take it.
But in the end, they both said they're willing to try. They want to work on it, and so he's gonna put his neon. He said in the corner. She said, "Can you put it in the closet?" So I think it's gonna be in the closet.
Yeah.
And put some of that 80s stuff away, and we'll see where they go from there.
Yeah, we'll see where they go from there.
All right, so then let's go to another easy. Let's look at Ryan and Clara.
Yeah.
They go to see each other's houses. I think the funny part with Ryan and Clara was that they went to Ryan's house, and she was like, it was very nice and neat and clean when they walked in and everything. But the secret was, he's
not a handyman.
What? Not even that. Is nice and clean from what is visibly seen.
Yeah.
But underneath,
he has no organism.
It's a mess. He had a shelf in the cabinet that was slanted. It wasn't even sitting up, but he still put stuffs on it.
Yeah, cereal boxes.
Yeah. he had just a little bit of trashy type stuff, like mishmash in the cabinet.
It wasn't organized. It looked like a guy. He had no organization skills whatever. So a little bit of glasses, and none of his glasses matched. Nothing was organized. He looked as if, again, for a guy who's supposed to be precise and consistent, that's this area in his life was unorganized. Even when she went to his bedroom, he didn't like to fold clothes. He just
had his shirt stuffed in the drawer.
Yeah, he's like, why iron gym shorts, or why have gym shorts this way? So his stuff, based off what he feels important, was just thrown around in his drawer. He didn't have the organization skills from the outside that it would look like. From the outside, everything looks good, but from the inside, when she got in, it was just totally.
And you know what? I think that's we talked about this once before outside of Married at First Sight. How a lot of people do that in their marriages. His house is like a type and character of the way some people live, how we project on social media, or even we going out. Everything looks good on the outside, and you think that's a reflection of everything is good. But behind the scenes, it's a lot of people that want to put on a show and make stuff look good to impress people, or so people don't know they got something going on. But underneath, it's a mess.
Yeah,
it's a mess, and for real. And it goes back to what his mom said. She says, he was messy at my house, but I go to his house and he seems like he's keeping it up. And it's almost like he's doing that to let his mom, I got it, Mom. But
she never opened the medicine cabinet.
She ain't opened them drawers or that medicine cabinet.
Medicine cabinet, she never opened drawers, she never did anything. So again, if we're going back to his personality everything looks together on the outside, but there's some things he's dealing with on the inside. If you look at who he is, even we go back to last week, it looks good on the outside, but he's struggling to be, in this case, as you guys said, he struggled to be a man and step up for Clara in last week's episode. And so, because again, it looks like the appearance looked good. Even here in this episode, when he talks to Pastor Cal, he still struggles with the fact of he's committed to Clara, but the word love got him all messed up. Being in love got him all messed up. So, again, look good on the outside. Inside, there's an issue.
Yeah. And we want to go to that real quick, but I just want to say, so we go to Clara's house, nice and neat. Miska's there. My daughter pointed this out. She's like Miska, like Mickey Mouse, Miska, Mooska, Mickey Mouse, like Miska like that. I don't know. But anyway.
Miska was his dog, though.
No, it was hers.
I thought it was his.
No, Miska is her dog. Because remember, she had a whole shrine with all those pictures of Miska.
Yes.
And then when Pastor Cal comes over, Miska's there. And he's like, oh, I met Miska before.
Yes, right.
But they had talked earlier, back to the clothes thing, how he doesn't like to fold the clothes. And he goes to her drawer, and her shirts are in there nicely folded. He was like, oh, that's cool. I can see what shirt it is. You fold it so you can see what shirt it is.
I've never seen that before, where you fold the shirt where it's sitting up. Yeah, and you just go and pick that up. I've never seen that before. Yeah,
most people kind of lay it flat.
Lay it flat.
But definitely I'll fold it so you can see before you pick it up. Yeah. Oh, this is that purple shirt with this on it.
Yeah, with the design on the front, whatever you got designed.
Yeah, and so they made an agreement before, though, that if you wash the clothes, I'll fold them and put them away. Because he said he don't feel the need to fold them and put them away. He just throw them in the drawer.
Well, I guess you got to watch the days, because she's the airline attendant.
Yeah, flight attendant. Yeah.
So I guess they have to work that out too, the days that he washed.
And so we see Pastor Cal meet with them. And they said so far everything is going very well. And Ryan admits that I'm the pessimist. I'm usually like, looking at things going well, but also like it can fall apart at any time. Something's gonna happen. And so he says it's been going good and seeing the best happening. It's surreal to him. Like, is this what is happening right now?
And Pastor Cal told him it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a disagreement. Y'all not gonna see eye to eye on everything forever. It's going to happen. He said, if I really point it out, I can point some things out now that you guys disagree on, that there's some issues or there's some problems with. And so, then that's when he goes into the conversation about, before we even go there, he asked them about the intimacy.
And before you say it, I want to point out that for them in particular, I don't think I saw this with Virginia and Eric, but they were literally sitting on the couch holding hands.
Yes.
They were up close to each other and holding hands. And so I think that's what also led to the conversation too. It's like I could see y'all obviously touching each other.
Yeah.
Now, Virginia and Eric were touching each other, but they weren't actually holding hands. Like Clara and Ryan were really close. And so Pastor Cal talks to them about intimacy.
Intimacy, and he like, I don't want details, but have you guys been intimate? And they would talk about sex. They hadn't consummated their marriage yet, but they've been doing other things to make each other feel comfortable. Now, whatever other things are, y'all read between the lines, because I'm reading between the lines on that. Pastor Cal read between the lines on that.
Right.
Is that y'all doing other things, but again, Brian said that it was him who doesn't want to consummate the marriage per se. He wants to make sure it's genuine. He wants to know his wife first. He wants to understand her, feel her, and now Clara was like, it's going a little slower than I'm used to.
Right. But she's consented with it. She's going with the flow with him. But she did acknowledge this is going a little bit slower than I'm used to.
And I don't think she was too happy about that. But again, she's going to accept that because she's in for the process. And to me, and Pastor Cal talks about that too, she loves hard.
Yes.
So she loves hard and she loves easy. If you ask 11 days in, she already loves Ryan. And she's just waiting for him to say it. She's there already. Again, her biggest fear is, they talked about that as well. Her biggest fear is that she doesn't want to put all her heart into it and doesn't get anything in return.
Yeah, she expressed that to him, and Ryan said to Pastor Cal, that I'm looking for love, not just sex.
Yeah.
How do I know when I have love? And Claire was like, how do you know when you'll be in love? And he was like, I just know, I'll know when I get there. Pastor Cal puts it in perspective. Like previous seasons, he has said to people that you grow in love. Now he put it in a different perspective for Ryan. Is like, love is more than just a feeling. It's a commitment.
Yeah.
It's a state of being. It's an intellectual choice. And I want to say it like he said it. He says it's an intellectual choice that you're being there for somebody. And do you feel like you it's an intellectual decision to fulfill her needs. And Pastor Cal says, don't be afraid of the word.
Yeah.
But do you feel like you've already made a commitment? Yeah, I feel like I've made a commitment. He says, even at this point, I don't feel like I want to be without her. Like, I like her being around. And Pastor Cal was like, well, you're there. Pastor Cal pretty much said the same thing that I was saying too. Is Ryan has probably been there before, but because he looked at it as this thing, he never thought he was in love or that he loved this person or that he could say the word. Even though you were there, he's putting too much thought. He's overthinking. He's putting too much into it.
But he was able to lay in the bed and look into her eyes and say, you know what, I really want to be with you. And there's nobody else that I want to be with.
Right.
I'm really into you. And that's what Pastor Cal pulled out of him. Like, look, if you said that, so guess what? You're actually saying that there's nobody else but Clara that you want to be with.
And that's the foundation.
And that's the foundation you guys need to continue to grow. I thought.
And for love.
And for love.
That's what he's saying.
And for love. So I think they are on the right track and on the right path. This guy will work on that aspect of it for him. But, I mean, to me, I don't see any other issues with them as of right now. She's still not dealing with, she's recovered well from, you need to watch your mouth type situation. She's recovered well. There's no, there was no beef there. So it's right now with them, and I really think they both bought into what Pastor Cal was saying. Yeah. Sometimes when you have couples and they look at it, he's talking and they're like, oh boy, whatever. But I really think they were really invested to what he was saying, and they're gonna try to apply what he said.
Yeah, I think they are too. Where we gonna go next?
Let's go Champagne Vinny.
Leave Champagne Vinny alone.
Champagne Vinny.
So we see Pastor Cal come pay them a visit, and he asks Vincent, how's it going? And he was like, it's going good, bueno, bueno, bueno. He feels like they hit the nail on the head, matching them two together. Yeah. Pastor Cal's like, really happy about it. Like, okay, good. What do you see in Vincent? What is it that you like about Vincent? And she was like, he's really very kind. Yeah. He's accommodating to me. And Vincent, what do you like about Brianna? She's like my better half. Yeah. She compliments me. The way we're matched, and Pastor Cal says, what kind of things have y'all talked about? So y'all are building this relationship. What have y'all talked about? You talked about finances? Yep.
Yes.
Have you talked about kids? Yep.
Yes.
We want to travel, and then we get to kids in a few years. We want to get to know each other. Yeah, we talked about that. She says, you know, as far as the careers, I see he's driven, he's ambitious. You know, I want to help build on that or whatever. And that he promises, he said, I want somebody to have my back, and I promise to take care of her.
Take care, provide for her.
I'm
She's
gonna
like,
provide
I like that.
Yes, she likes that. And Pastor Cal was like, you know, if y'all stick with that, y'all gonna be well off with that. He asked, have they consummated the marriage? Yes, they have.
Yes, they have.
They have consummated the marriage. And the one thing that Vincent, not Vinny, Champagne Vinny. What Vincent said was that he told his family, he didn't tell Brianna that he told him this, but he told his family that he think he's met the person that he like to spend the rest of his life with. That put a big smile on her face.
It put a big smile on her face. I mean, I think right at that point, they're in a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
They're in a good spot. You know, even how it ends with them, and we get to that in a few seconds, even when they go visit each other's apartments and visit home, he was more accommodating to her. You know, he joked about her shoes or clothes, but you could see that he was accommodating, willing to help her out and willing to take things. And she was really surprised at how nice his apartment was, how clean it was, because of the hotel. Now, you made a good point when we watched the show. Sometimes when you're in hotels, you don't even care about where your stuff goes. You're not as organized as you are when you're at home. You get with your suitcase there, you let your stuff fly all over the place, and whatever case may be. You know, I try to stay organized in my little corner, because first of all, I don't like the maids to come in and just steal my stuff all over the place. Right. So I try to keep everything in the hotel.
Yeah, we really do.
But there's some people, you know, hey, it's free, whatever. We throw it here, we throw it here, and that's how it was. And we saw the scene where she picked up after him, and she wanted to take care of him, and she was doing everything. She like, I'll stop when he says something about it. You know, again, she picked up after him. Now, Vincent can't have it both ways, because to me, you look at it, he's having it both ways. Do you want her to pick up after you? Or do you want to pick up yourself? Because he's like, I'm a man, you know, that's what men do. So you can't complain about her picking up after you and then be mad when she get on you about not picking up. Because again, she said, take your shoes off at the door. Just like that, he forgot. Remind me of I hate to say it. It reminded me of a kid. I hate to say it though, it reminded you of a kid. Where you told a kid, like, yo, take your shoes off the door, and like 5 seconds later, he forgot.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I forgot to take my shoes off. He had to walk back to the door and take.
So it's like, okay, and not that she's trying to be his mother. He don't want to be his mother, but at the same time, dog, you're not remembering what I just asked you to do or what we decided to do right then and there. I ain't say no, they ain't decide. She told him to take his shoes off. I ain't gonna say it lie. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. She told him what to do.
Yeah, she did. And since you're talking about the apartment thing, and we're going to get back to Pastor Cal, the one thing that we thought was funny, and they did too, is, you know, you go into her apartment, and he was like, your TV is leaning. Your TV's drunk. She's an engineer, mind you. Your TV is leaning, and your TV looks drunk. And she was like, you know, I saw it was leaning. I just didn't feel no need to fix it. I got a man for that now. Basically, she said, you know, he can take care of it. She did have tons of clothes in her closet, and he was like, okay, let's get some stuff for you to take. And she's like, well, yeah, I think I'll take this. I think I'll take that. I think I'll take this. I think I'll take that. And I gotta need your help getting up here because I can't reach my shoes. And he was like, you ain't gonna take your hundreds of shoes. And she was like, I don't have hundreds. He said, well, maybe 70 or 80. Have you thought about donating them? She was like, are you kidding me?
I mean, this is what I laughed at. If you need my help to get them down, who helped you put them up?
Well, she ended up being the one up on the.
So can you I need your help. You didn't need my help to put them up there. And I'm just, you know, that's just me.
At Vincent's place, it's nice and neat. They make the joke that Vincent's TV is sober. It's hung up on the wall.
Hung up on the wall.
She likes his apartment though. It's really neat and clean. But to go back to Pastor Cal again, so talking about the being neat and clean and stuff like that. Pastor Cal says, have you noticed any issues or some possible issues? That he says he needs her respect.
Yes. She's
real direct, can come off, she's assertive, can come off as kind of aggressive. And he says it's not what's said but how it's said. And she says, you know, she doesn't want to come off rude to him, and that's something they need to work on, you know, on their communication and how to talk.
Yeah, but again, Vincent told her to be direct with me. Mm-hmm. Right? So how do you tell me to be direct with you, and when I'm direct with you, you catch feelings? And you told me to be direct, so I'm being direct.
Meaning direct. I think he meant direct like tell me. Not direct like pick your shoes up, move this around. Like, it's a difference, you know. Be direct with me. Like, I want to know what's going on, but can you put a little sugar on it? I think that's what Vincent said.
Or sit down and make the house rules. The house rules is, you know what, Vincent, let's have a rule meeting. We saw this with Amelia and Bennett. They sat down and they had a little rule sheet, this, and this. We saw it was Amani and Woody. Sat down and did the rules. So again, when you're moving into this apartment, let's sit down and have the rules. Do we take our shoes off at the door? Do we keep wash dishes in the dishwasher, or we do washing by hand? Do the
And if you wash them by hand, make sure you clean the inside and the outside.
Inside of the outside, you know. Do we put them on the rack here? Do we put the fork where? So we find placement. You got to sit down and have these rule meetings or a boundaries meeting for your house. Mm-hmm. And we don't see that. So now he feels like you're being judgmental, or you're directing me without us having any type of agreement. I have no say so. Mm-hmm. Again, he wants a voice in this relationship.
Yeah.
And he feels like he doesn't have a voice, which goes into the part when they start to celebrate and he pops the champagne.
Oh.
And champagne get all over the floor. Now, you know, he's like, oh, I get it. She's already down there with a towel wiping it up. Again, he's moving slower than she is. And I'm just this observation. He's moving slower than she is. Not that he's not gonna clean it up, but she's like, okay, but I need to move. Let's get it now because I don't want the house to smell like champagne.
Right, but she didn't rush it, but she was like, let me clean it up before the house be smelling like bubbly, you know, do something to the floor. And she took it upon herself to do it, as opposed to, I think that was her way of like not bossing him around. Right. And she did it, but it still kind of rubbed him the wrong way. But what rubbed him the wrong way was she was like, okay, yeah, there goes Champagne Vinny. Yeah, do it like Champagne Vinny would. And
you're doing like Vincent.
You know, yeah, you being a Vinny or you know, whatever. And he was like, you know, it rubbed him the wrong way.
It was a smart comment.
It was, but she was trying to be funny, but it didn't come across funny because it wasn't a big laugh with it. You know,
it wasn't a big laugh because you can tell. Let's go deeper into this. Deeper into it means that we already seen him do some clumsy things earlier.
Yes.
He does clumsy things. He'll spill this or he'll drop this or so. Now let's be honest. It didn't just start when he was with Brianna. So it probably has been going on for a long time, and people say, "Oh, you clumsy, you this, that, and the other." Now it's a trigger for him when she points it out. Oh, it's a Vinny. Oh, you calling me an idiot? No, sir. I was trying to make a joke. Again, it's a trigger for him because guess what? This is not the first time someone told him that he was clumsy. Yeah. This is not the first time to say, "Man, Vinny, you dropped that," or "Man, Vinny, you spilled that again," or "Vinny, you messed that up." So he is a trigger, and she triggered that in him, and you can see that when he got upset.
Yeah, because he was like, "You belittled me. Show me some respect." She said, "I don't feel like I respected you," but he did. And a lot of times, you know, for real, we have to take our partner's feelings into consideration. You may not feel that you came off that way, but that's how they received it. Yeah. And, you know, just acknowledge the feelings. And I feel like she did acknowledge his feelings. She said, you know, I didn't mean it that way. But, you know, he got a little upset after, you know, they were talking about it. And she says, you know, I don't feel like I want to talk about it anymore. And not in a bad way, but I mean, I could tell she was getting frustrated and, you know, like mad. And so she was like, before it goes off the deep end, like, I don't feel like I want to talk about it anymore right now. And he was like, well, yeah, you know, that's cool. I mean, I guess I could always go back to my apartment.
See, this is where I have a problem.
He literally left.
I have a problem with it. Again, goes back to what I said. There's no boundaries and no rules. There was no agreement. Okay, we get mad, don't leave. There's no agreement. You can go sleep in the other bedroom. If you get mad and we have an argument, what do we do here? You know what I'm saying? So there has to be that agreement that comes in. He just took his stuff and bounced. Come on, Vinny, be a man. I don't want to tell him man up. I don't want to say man up because you know people get mad when you say man up. Vinny, handle your responsibilities. Handle your conversation. To pack your bag and leave, that's not a cool move. It really, the argument really ain't that deep. It really ain't that serious. She apologized. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way. It was I thought it was a joke. You could have said something to me. And then he was like, oh, how you going to turn this on me? I don't think she turned it on him.
No.
She was just making some points and some observations, but he was already caught up in his feelings. He was caught up in his feelings. He already made his mind up. You know what? I'm going to say this, and this is where it's going to be. And I'm not mad at him for telling her, you know what? You belittled me. I feel like you belittled me. Now, again, for that conversation, that one, she didn't really belittle you. She just said, you being a Vinny, ha ha ha, he. Well, again, but because of past things that have happened to him and what people have already said, and him knowing that he's clumsy, and him knowing that he's making mistakes, him knowing his own insecurities, blew it up and made it much bigger than what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm hoping they can work that out. I'm hoping he just left. I mean, they left it at like he left. It wasn't for the night that we could tell. So I'm hoping he just left to go get some space, some air.
He had a bag.
Maybe but I'm hoping he changed his mind when he got to the car. He didn't like.
He walked past the production people. He had
with
everything.
their mask on. We been see. You made a point. We've seen a lot of the production people in the scenes.
A lot.
This season so far. I mean, they just sitting at the counter, on the bar stool, in the bathroom, just standing in the middle of the floor, like, wow. Okay, but anyway.
Yeah.
So from there, let's go to Virginia and Eric.
Yeah, Virginia and Eric.
We talked about them going to their apartments, but Pastor Cal meets with Virginia and Eric, and he says he loves that they're sitting there touching, and he asked the obvious question: Have y'all consummated marriage? Yes, we have. Yes, we have. Eric was like, it wasn't a forced thing though. From the start there was the attraction. That was obvious or whatever. And she acknowledged the same thing. And so Pastor Cal asked, have you noticed the age difference being a factor? And Eric says, well, the number doesn't matter to me. Yeah. But when it comes down to it, it's more the maturity and the life lived. He said, but it's where she is in her life. And that she hasn't had the type of relationships that he has. And he thinks she's treating this more like a boyfriend-girlfriend thing than a marriage. And we agree. Yes. She is treating it more like a boyfriend-girlfriend thing. Totally. And it does make a difference. It's different on, there's more than one Married at First Sight. In Married at First Sight Australia, they have had couples that have been married before. But this is the first time in Married at First Sight in the United States history that they've had somebody that was married before. Yes. And so he does come with that experience. He knows what it's like to be married. He knows what it's like, what you have to do to come into a marriage. She doesn't know that. And it seems to him and it seems to us that she's like not really understanding either. Again,
you got to look at her past. She has not seen too many successful marriages in her family. Right. Her dad was divorced, mom was divorced, mom divorced, married this person, got divorced, dad got divorced, married this person, and now she hasn't seen successful marriages, and she doesn't know what a successful marriage looks like. She doesn't understand what a successful marriage is like, and she doesn't even care, and I don't say care, in her eyes, long I got somebody, I'm cool. And so she got somebody right now. And so she's like, okay, I'm gonna do me, and you're just gonna have to accept me doing me.
Right. And that's why I like where Pastor Cal came in. So they brought up the fact that, she went out to hang out with her friends and he expected me to text him when I got there. She made it like it's controlling. I did that when I was in my parents' house. When I left out the house, I had to text him to make sure I'm okay. Okay. He said, I'm not trying to be your parent, but, and Pastor Cal said it too, it's just being concerned about somebody. I just want to make sure you're okay. I'm not saying you can't hang out. I'm not trying to parent you. But that's like some, again, boyfriend girlfriend thing. It's not that I'm making you do it. It's just like for us, you know, when we come home, I'm on the way home. The other day I had to go somewhere, and I was like, hey, I'm on the way home. Mm-hmm. So, you know, she even said this, and I was like, but spouses do that too. She was like, you know, I let my parents know where I'm at, because if not, they'll be freaking out at home, thinking I'm dead and off the side of the road somewhere. But for real, for your spouse too.
He wants to know you're safe.
It's the same thing. Your spouse wants to know you're safe. And Pastor Cal said that. He just wants to make sure you're okay.
And not even that. As much as she drinks, and he's seen her drunk,
right?
As much as she is, he wants to know that you got to where you're going safely, that you got there, and if you're gonna make it home, let's do something there. So it's like more of a security thing than everything. It's a reassurance for him that you're okay.
You ought to want somebody to know where you at
all times, probably in this day and age.
You ought to want somebody to care if you don't show up by the time you say you should show up.
Again, then she has to take into account too that he's military. That, okay, this is what they do. We always accountable for every person. We're accountable for our men. We're accountable for our women. We're accountable where you're at. Soldier, let me know where you're going. So those type of things where he's rigid about his lifestyle, and he's conservative, and he want to make sure she's fine.
Yeah, she said she felt like he was being overprotective.
Yeah.
And then even when she went out, you know, he was looking for her to tell him, and she said she felt like she had to ask for his permission, and then she brings up the thing where he has an issue with me having guy friends, and how sometimes if I'm hanging out with my male friends, if I'm tired or too drunk, you know, I might crash on that couch. I got 2 male friends.
And
they're like my gay best friends. And Pastor Cal was like, well, are they gay?
And she was like,
and
no.
she was like, no. And so Pastor Cal was like, I'm married. I ain't married to you. I ain't controlling. I don't have no self-esteem issues. But I wouldn't feel good about my wife hanging over at her male friend's house the night. Nope.
Again, male friend house, you intoxicated, you're drunk, you can't even drive to get home. And Pastor Cal said it. It's not about necessarily about you, but they may try to take advantage of you. They may try to do something to you. They may try to, again, deal with you in a way that y'all been friends for so long. Eric brought it up. Either your friends want to have sex with you, or, you know, they want to have sex with you, or they thought about having sex with you. So again, putting yourself in that situation is not good. And that's what Pastor Cal tried to say. She doesn't see any danger because they're her friends. She doesn't see any danger with that situation. There's been a lot of friends who have
fell up in the bed.
That fell in bed with each other, or even assaulted somebody.
Yeah.
Because they were friends. So she doesn't see the danger behind her behavior, which goes with her immaturity. And I think hearing it from Pastor Cal really opened her ears up a little bit and say, you know what, dang, that is right.
Right. Which, again, I mean, she's what, 26?
26.
I still feel like at this point, silly. She should have known that already. Come on. For safety. Listen, even the party girls, you got a code, you got a thing you go by. Hey, you check in with your girlfriends. Hey, this guy. You know what I'm saying? It's even, you just got to flip it from your girlfriends to your husband. And I like what Pastor Cal said. This is your husband. Your house band. He bands the house together. He looks out. He protects you. He looks out for your best interest. So this is him not being overprotective and not being somebody overbearing and making you ask for permission, not trying to be controlling. But I'm trying to make sure you're okay, because that's what husbands do. Just like your parents. That's why when you leave for this cause, will a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife? It's the same type of situation. Just like it's your parents' responsibility to keep the house together and to look out for their children. When you get married, your husband takes the place of your parents, not to parent you, to train you up, to grow you up, but to look out for you, to be your protection, your covering.
The symbolism, your dad's passing you off to this man anyway. So your dad is responsibility. He's relinquishing his responsibility and giving the responsibility from you to the husband.
Right.
And so the husband now has a responsibility to take care of you for sickness and health, till death do us part, for richer or poor, whatever the vows you said. It's now the husband's responsibility, because the father has passed the responsibility off to the husband.
I like that you said that. Yes, the father is who gives this woman to this man, her mother and I. So I'm relinquishing my responsibility, but it still needs to be done. I'm just not doing it.
And now the husband takes on the responsibility of being the protector, the caregiver, the provider, and everything that your father was.
Yes.
Now it becomes the responsibility of the husband.
Yes, yes.
The house band.
All that. The house band. And so you can be the help meet.
To help meet.
Yes, he gonna be the house band and you can help meet.
Meet.
Yeah. All right. Is that it with Virginia and Eric? Yeah.
Yeah, that's Virginia and Eric. So let's go to...
I think, but Pastor Cal really put it in perspective for her. I think she really was thinking about like, okay, I get it.
Hopefully she does get it.
The train wreck.
Yeah, let's get to this.
Okay, the train wreck. So again, Paige moves into the apartment by herself. Chris goes to Chicago. But then we see Paige telling the camera that, she's at the apartment and she's about to meet up with Chris. And so we don't even see Chris come in. We hear him come in. And then we get words flashed on the screen that Chris
told production
did not want to he wouldn't allow production to film their conversation. And we hear him saying, I'm not here to waste your time or my time. I'm not the type to fake. And then next thing you know, they say that they cut their mics.
First of all,
not doing it. Like I told you before, I'm not going in this bathroom. I'm not turning on all this water. You ain't gonna look. Guess what? It ain't gonna be no he said, she said. I go out here and tell them that you said something. Then you say you didn't. Nope. We gonna let production hear it all. I'm not taking no microphone off. I'm not doing none of that.
Which was a waste anyway because Paige called production and tell them what they talk about.
But she should have. She should have. She did right.
He didn't want nobody to hit his Fraggle Bull.
And that's what it was.
He didn't want to hit nobody Fraggle Bull, what his excuses, what he said, what was going on. He didn't want to hear none of that stuff.
And I just love the way they had cut and spliced this before, because we kept seeing this preview and was making it sound like it was the ex-fiance talking about Paige. We come to find out it was Paige talking about the ex-fiance when she said F him and F that B. BICTH in that order.
Yeah, so but again, I like this part of Paige. This is
this is the Paige we've been looking for.
This is the Paige that you should have seen in Vegas because she's trying to keep it all dignified. At this point, she's like on 100.
Yeah, she called a producer. She was like, he said this. Yeah. He said he wanted a divorce. He said he want to get back with his ex. That's what they getting ready to do. I don't know if he want to meet up with Pastor Cal. I'm done. This is some bull crap.
I don't know if she cussed him. She should have cussed him, and I ain't even a proponent of cussing. Sorry, but she really should have. But she might, again, we're committed to this marriage. I went through this process, this whole married at first sight process to get married. We're 11 days in, and you're telling me you want to be with your ex and you want a divorce.
Well, not only that. Again, like we said from the jump, Paige, you do not have to stick in with this. She made the choice that I'm gonna stick with it, and he pretty much encouraged her, like, okay, you're hanging there.
Here's a shot.
Stick with it, hang in there. I'm spiritually attracted to you. We're getting there, And even though he was like, I'll go with whatever you say you want to do, and she was like, we can work it out or whatever. I did talk to my ex about maybe that might be the case, that we might get back together, but I'm gonna work it with you. So you kept baiting her and had her at the point where she was like, okay, I'm willing to try it just for you to come back from Chicago and tell me I'm gonna go with my ex. I think best thing for us is to get divorced.
The ex probably threw some
chop you in your daggone throat.
Ex probably gave him a little something while he was in Chicago. Man, she probably look again. She's already pregnant, so she might well give him a little something. Again, conversation is Paige. You want to feel for Paige.
And this whole episode, I don't feel for her at all.
I understand, but you want to feel for her, but then at the same time, you sitting there looking like, yo.
You big dummy.
Yeah, you even Pastor Cal, and this is me as a father. as a father, I'm looking at my daughter, and our teenage daughter was in here watching this. I'm looking at her like, yo, don't be that girl.
No.
Don't be that fool. I raised you better than that. Don't be that person.
It's a difference between being a ride or die chick and being just a plum fool.
Yeah.
And Paige went from being a ride or die to now you're a fool. And this is the other part why I say you're a fool. Because she's sitting there talking to Pastor Cal. Pastor Cal comes and they meet and talk. And he says, you know, you look beautiful. You look incredible. I know this experience hasn't been incredible. She talks about how she felt disconnected at the wedding. Something just wasn't clicking. But he wanted to be intimate. And so she felt like, I'm in there. I made a commitment as a wife. You know, we're trying to work it out. And so she did it. She said she did it.
Her wifely duties.
Her wife, man.
Let me stop right there. Krista's father planted those seeds at the reception. So, no, we talk about Chris being a manipulator. Again, he had to learn from somebody. His dad planted those seeds because he said, my son wants to have sex with you or have sex on a regular basis. Don't deprive him of having sex. That seed was planted in her from the wedding.
I don't disagree that he planted the seed, but also the other part that goes with that is he didn't tell you to do a silly and mister. He get on top of me and do his business. Now, Dad did not plant that seed. That was her stupidity.
Again, yes, it was all on her, but again, based off what she said was, I was doing my wifely duty. She didn't want Chris to get mad for the fact she didn't want to say, no, I don't want to have sex.
Mr. Get on top of me.
Even though she knew that even after he told her, this is where I have a problem.
This the part.
Even after he told you that he wasn't attracted to you, that he didn't want to mess with you.
And he got a baby on
the way with his ex. You still gave it up. And that's your self-worth. That's yourself. That's on you and your self-esteem as a woman, because again, he manipulated you. Again, let's go listen to when they sat in the bed. I'm spiritually attracted to you. He didn't say that when it was out at the ATVs. He didn't say that when it was on the van. He said that when they were laying in the bed. So he's manipulating you, trying to get back in your drawers because he know he showed his butt all day long.
This the funny part. Pastor Cal was like, okay, after all that, you still having sex with him? And she says, now we on day 11. She says all except 2 or 3 days did she have sex with him. Except for 2 or 3 days.
He done cussed everybody in the van.
No protection.
He done made y'all look like a fool at dinner. He done embarrassed you. He done told you that he still loved his ex-fiance. He told you that he had a baby on the way. And you're still giving, out of the 11 days that you've been married, you gave it to him 8 days. And I'm saying multiple times on those 8 days. And now, Pastor Cal, this is where Pastor Father comes in the Pastor Cal said, well, did you use protection?
No.
No? He said, well, you know, are you pregnant? No, my period started this week. By the grace of God.
She said, and I had been just stressing. I had been stressing. And, I mean, for real, yo, Pastor Cal, it did look like the daddy, like, daughter, come on.
Like, daughter, come, like, you know, I know you know better. Again, I know you know better, but you choose not to do better.
Bro. Knowing
better and doing better is two different things. She knew better, but she chose not to do it.
Pastor Cal was blown away. I mean, I could have.
He took them glasses off.
I could have bought and sold him for a nickel. He was like, Paige, baby. And then here come this joker with his ripped, skinny jeans on, legs looking like female legs. I was like, that's a chick. It was Chris coming down, and then he just walks in. He did not, like, you don't live here. You don't live here. You don't just walk in here. You don't just walk in here.
But
he just walked in.
Pastor Cal looked at him like, yo, dog.
This Negro.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
This Negro here. He ain't, and I ain't gonna be Negro either.
This ninja.
This ninja.
This ninja is bold. And he sits down. Oh, then mind you, Paige had just told Pastor Cal that he told her that he's going back with the ex. I mean, Chris walks in and Pastor Cal is looking at this Joker like, this Joker right here.
Yeah.
And Paige, even when he starts talking, Paige, man, that was the best face ever. She looked at him like, because he was like, I know it's been a roller coaster. I've had her on this roller coaster. And Pastor Cal, we laughed at this. Pastor Cal was like, okay, are you sure she's pregnant? It's, again,
how you say it?
Tone, pitch, and voice. And, again, it's coming from a father figure.
It's coming from a dude.
Yeah,
let's forget, it is coming from a dude.
And he says, yes, she's pregnant. I saw the pregnancy test, and she went to the doctor, which is what I said on the last episode, that she probably could say it to him then because she had been to the doctor, and they confirmed it. And
before we even get to that, Pastor Cal, when Paige told Pastor Cal that she was 6 weeks pregnant, he was like,
yes,
they had to be doing this during the process. This is an extensive process, so he knew what was going on. That he was in a process of being married at first sight.
When he went in, when he slipped up and fell up in his ex.
Man, you don't slip and fall at nothing.
It's a joke.
Oh. Yeah, you don't slip and fall.
When he slipped and fell up in his ex-fiance.
Yeah.
And so, Pastor Cal was like, okay. And he asked, so, are you going to be with the ex? You going to be with the ex-fiance? And Chris like, I struggle to answer questions. The whole process is like, maybe I do still love her. Maybe this process is showing me that I do still love her. And, Pastor Cal's like, okay, this is the thing. You're talking about your ex-fiance. You broke up with her. Yes? Yes. So there were reasons why you broke up with her. So now you're telling me because she's pregnant, that invalidates all the reasons why y'all broke up? And Chris was like,
I just want to be a father with my family.
I want to keep my family together.
Pastor Cal said, you can still be a father.
You can still have a family, meaning y'all share a child and not be with that person.
And mind you, hats off to Paige because she's sitting there all quiet. I know they probably told her not to. I know they probably told you not to put their hands on them.
She looks pissed.
No paws on them. Don't act indignant. And she's trying to be a lady. As Sinead, I'm a lady. She's trying to be a lady on TV, because let's be honest, most people would have went off. My 16-year-old daughter was like, hold up, when he came up in here,
bro, she left. She stopped watching. She was like, I can't do this. I can't. And for real, I honestly was like fed up too. That's when I was like, Paige, come on, sis.
Yeah.
I know when she tell that one friend with the natural hair. The one that was like, oh, Paige is a trophy wife. If she find out, Jesus, help Chris, Lord.
They be ready to cut him.
Oh my gosh. But anyway, she says, I feel like I got the short end of the stick. Like you have dragged me through this process. He says, well, I didn't drag her. And Pastor Cal was like, but you did. You have been dragging her.
You told her that you were going to be with her, not be with her. You told her that you weren't going to be with the ex. You told her that you loved the ex. You kept going back and forth. You didn't change your mind more than you changed your draws.
And then, the only time she has felt desired in this whole process is when you felt like you wanted to have sex.
Yeah.
So, why did you have sex with her, Chris? What happened with that? He says, I don't feel like I want to talk about that.
Are you trying to put her
and he says, what? So, are you trying to say
Paige was the initiator?
That she wanted it? I don't feel like talking about it. I'm not going to go there. Joker, stop it. You are lying, manipulating, the deceiver too. Stop.
I'm gonna say it was a little bit of both though. She wanted, look, again.
She might have wanted it after the first time when he laid that pipe.
Right? Yes.
I ain't gonna, he probably right, but what you not gonna do is, you're not gonna try to flip it and put it all on me. Cause bro, even though I might have wanted it, god dog it, I didn't want all the other bull crap attached to it. Stop it.
Attached to it. Again, you're right.
Pastor Cal was like, Paige is an amazing woman. She's this. And then this Joker gonna say, you know what, but to her credit, my ex is an amazing woman as well. Where the Glock? Where the knife? Where's that?
Yeah, he like just totally discounted her, and you know, even before the pastor.
Don't nobody give a rat's. I'm sorry, husband. Don't nobody give a rat's tail.
Tell them how you really feel.
I'm gonna do it.
Get off your chest.
I told you I was.
Get off your chest.
Don't nobody give a rat's tail about your ex. Here we go again. It's almost just like right after the wedding. You talking about your ex. I don't. Right now, your ex is ruining. She is ruining my whole process. I don't care. She could probably be real cool. We might could be friends outside of this. You know, we might could spend some time together. But right now, I don't like her. Paige said, forget her and the horse she rode in on.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at her.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at her neither. And you know, Pastor Cal said, "Hey man, that's BS." He said, if I was a pastor, I can't say the other stuff."
Yeah, he said it. But he said, "I'm a pastor. I ain't supposed to say that." He said, "That's a bunch of BS to me. That's some BS." But anyway, you know, Pastor Cal left after, you know, talking to Chris was like, you know, what is it that you want to do?
He couldn't take it no more either.
Because he said, what you want to do? And Chris said, you know, I think the best thing is that, you know, we get a divorce. That's the best thing.
And Pastor Cal agreed. He said,
yes.
He said, I don't think this marriage should continue.
He said, usually I'm a proponent, I'm a fan of marriage and pushing and working through it. But after meeting with them, no.
The answer is no.
It's a no for me, dog. And my favorite part of this is when he gets ready to leave, he really does daddy up Paige. He hugs her up, lets her know she's going to be okay, and is like, to Chris.
Yeah, he rolls out. He rolls out, but then
he didn't dap him up. He you know, it was like, you know what, loser, I'm gone.
But then here come the snake in the grass. Here come the manipulator. Here comes here's the inaudible talk, because he goes and whispers in her ear. Again, and I know, I'm not trying to get religious or deep on you guys. What it seemed like to me was, when you know how you hear the story growing up in Sunday school and all this other stuff about the serpent talking into Eve's ear. It seemed, you can go back and look at his face. It seemed like when Pastor Cal
evil,
left,
yes.
it seemed like something rose up in him, like, oh, let me.
Now's my time to put the manipulation on.
It's my time.
And he leans into her ear and he whispers and she get out, girl. Pastor Cal just left. Oh my gosh, like I'm amazed at the level of manipulation and control and Jezebel spirit, whatever you want to call it, that Chris and well, that's a whole nother Sunday school lesson. Because Jezebel is not what we make it. Jezebel is a controlling spirit, and it's a deceiving and wicked thing. And so his face changed. You could see it. He was like, now's my opportunity. And he makes her smile and giggle and let me go get my stuff out the car. And she tells us that he whispered in my ear, I'm afraid to fall in love with you. I don't want to fall in love with you. You guess what? I tell him, you can't fall in love with me because you leaving. Today.
And that's what she said. She said, I thought it was going to be a clean cut walk out, but now I'm confused. Girl, what you confused about?
What you should be confused about is, how could he keep doing this to me, and why do I keep letting him? That's what you should be confused about. You shouldn't be confused about how I feel about this man. You should be confused about what you're going to do about this situation. You shouldn't be confused. What you should be confused about is, how do I, as a woman of God, what you keep calling yourself, how do I keep letting myself get played? That's what you should be confused about. What is it? God, I need you to show me. Like you said, God showed you and revealed things to you. What you need to do is go get in your prayer closet, sis, and say, God, show me what's in me. No. What has happened to me?
She need to go get a daddy, because there's some daddy issues there.
There you go.
There's some daddy issues there. I don't know her father, but I can guarantee you there's some daddy issues, some men issues for her to be able to do this. Because she said it's not the first time that she had messed with a guy and was taking care of somebody else's kid. Again, you're in the relationship. I know Chris did not cheat on you, but again, he disrespected you. He didn't show you any respect for the whole time. He used you like a sex object. Now again, whatever you fall in love is, that's not ride or die.
Nah.
Ride or die is something totally different.
This is stupidity.
We might do a video on what really ride or die is, but that's not ride or die.
But anyway, so he goes to get his suitcases out the car, and they're in the parking lot looking at each other, and he's looking like he wants to ask her, can I come upstairs? And she looking like she tempted to want to let him come upstairs, and she finally is like, let me go.
Yeah, let me go.
And he's still looking, but he peels off. She's standing in the doorway just looking with her, with her purse like, girl, I wish I could
get your butt
slap
upstairs.
the taste out of your mouth. Bro, I'm so mad at the end of this episode. I'm sure you can tell. I'm usually not this animated. Plus, it's like we just watched it. It's fresh. I'm irritated.
Yeah, so look, get your butt upstairs. Go sleep on it. Go have a conversation with family, friends, or have somebody that you trust.
I don't want to tell nobody that. I'd be embarrassed. First of all, I'm embarrassed to talk to Pastor Cal. He don't even know me. So, God dog, I know I'm not going to tell the people that know me. They're going to be like, you big dummy.
Yeah, so again, her self-esteem is broken. She needs to be healed. She needs something to lift her up. She needs to have conversation. And we saw from the previews, this is what she's going to meet with the baby mama.
Listen, I don't have no reason to meet with this chick because you said we was getting divorced. So go on and be on your happy way. Get gone. That's an old R&B song. Get gone. Just get gone. I don't have nothing to say to her. She don't have nothing to say to me. I'm a non-factor in your relationship with your baby mama, with your ex, that you getting back with. This is a non-factor.
Yeah, this is really a non-factor. Hey.
I'm mad at that. So that's what we're going to do? That's how we're going to keep stringing this along through the whole rest of this experience? This what we're going to do? No. Yeah. I want you to know. Let it go like, who did that? Who broke up? Who, after a while, Zach wasn't there. They ain't show Zach no more.
Nah, they didn't.
He was done.
He was done.
Who else? The one that just went past. Who else was that just broke?
Brett and Olivia.
Brett.
Brett and Olivia.
When Brett said that he was done, he was done. We ain't gonna keep stringing this thing along.
Yeah. Well, again, he's gonna keep manipulating and try to come back. He can keep keeping her involved, and we will see them for the next 7 weeks or 8 weeks. How many more of them?
I hope not.
In the show.
I hope not.
We're gonna see them.
Please don't.
They can keep dragging us along. We're gonna keep seeing Paige and Chris. We're gonna keep filming Paige and Chris. This hopefully that something happens or sparks, or as Dr. Pepper said, that something would turn around in this. Look, ain't no turnaround in this thing.
And I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna go. This is the part that makes me mad. We are watching the show after it's all said and done. I'm really having an issue with the fact that this is a train wreck, and they are showing us the light. This is not Married at First Sight.
No.
This is not what we're used to in Married at First Sight. This whole train wreck. That I feel like this is an episode of Real Housewives that I keep watching. You know, it's
They failed her, and she did get the short end of the stick. They failed. They didn't do their due diligence, production and all that. They didn't do their due diligence on who this guy was.
Dr. Pepper said no for real though, and we know this is the case. We know in real life, you know, there are people that we've seen on Dateline. They used to teach Sunday school, and everybody was like, I don't know how he could be a serial killer. Some things they could never have predicted this.
Yeah,
they could never have predicted it.
But if you go back to the Pastor Cal wasn't a fan of this.
He wasn't.
He wasn't a fan of this matchup anyway. But he got overruled, and they became a fan of this. Again,
I'm irritated.
Chris ain't all 100% at fault. Paige still at fault in some of this situation as well.
Hey, y'all let us know how you felt in the comments. I'm irritated.
Yeah, let us know how you feel in the comments. Make sure you leave make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification. Make sure you leave a comment. Also, make sure you check us out Sunday night at 7 p.m. on the Little Black Book 91 channel as we discuss this even further with other YouTubers like Stephanie Lee, with August Love Story, and this week Talisa Ray will be on as well. So check us
hot in here.
Check us out. Man, we had a great time last week, so make sure you check us out. Also, check out our other reviews as well. We'll be dropping another video this week about Married at First Sight.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Good night.